What happened when you showed your vulnerability slash thoughts slash feelings to your female so? I opened up about my depressive thoughts at her request. She started crying and freaking out, telling me that she couldn't handle it. I ended up having to console her. Anytime I brought up how I was feeling, she would break down and did have to comfort her. Just learned the juice wasn't worth the squeeze at some point. This has been my experience. Bring up being stressed at work or whatever, and it's like you don't think things are hard for me too, followed by tears. Then I've got to comfort her, and my feelings are ignored slash overshadowed by hers. Better to say nothing. I'll handle my S on my own. That reminds me of one time, after I got divorced, my mom mentioned that she used to talk to my ex-wife a lot. I didn't really know that before. My mom, commented, yeah, she says you always mention how you're stressed from work and by money all the time. And I said, okay, what are you doing to help with that? And she said, well, nothing really. He just talks about it all the time. And I cleaned the house, so that was reassuring to know that when I was trying to be communicative, a message was being received. Just nothing done with it. I had a panic attack in front of my now wife. She just held my hand until I was better and told me she loved me. Keep a Reddit. Wow, thanks for the award, internet strangers. This is how it's supposed to be. Thank you for sharing. This is way too far down here. Last time I was ever vulnerable around a woman was my so in 2020. She knew I was having a rough go through COVID. My income halved between 2020 late 2021. One night I broke down and cried beside her on the couch because my financial situation was really wearing on me. She half-assed comforted me, and I didn't really think too much about it after that until we were having a fight and she threw it in my face. How the F do you expect my pee to get wet when I see you cry? That kinda broke me. I dumped her 10 minutes later. She tried crawling back like 7 months later. I told her to eat a bag of dicks. I don't want to sound like I'm bragging, but I just started seeing someone who is incredibly thoughtful and kind. She asked a question about my childhood that I normally completely run away from because it's not the greatest memory. And her reaction to that alone made me fall in love with her 1000x more. When I was a kid, I hated Christmas and birthdays because my parents struggled financially, and I always felt bad that they had to use money to buy me a present when they were already having a hard time putting food on the table. This mentality stuck with me well into adulthood. I'm about to be 32 and has caused issues in past relationships. When I told her that, she got up, came to the other side of the table and gave me a hug. Then she asked what presents I wanted as a kid, but never asked for. I told her it sounds lame, but I always wanted Rock'em Sock'em robots. The next time I saw her, she showed up with Rock'em Sock'em robots and asked if I wanted to play. I'm going to marry this girl. Edit. These responses just reaffirmed how incredibly lucky I am. I always scoffed at love at first sight, but in the wise words of the monkeys, I'm a believer. I couldn't leave her if I tried. See a therapist. I don't have time for this. I did. My therapist thinks we should get divorced because she refuses to get help. I told her that I could never do that because I don't want to be alone without my kids. My wife and daughter just left for a week, leaving me and my son here by ourselves, and I realized that they are the source of all the tension and mayhem around here. It was like a vacation and really has me thinking that my therapist is right and I'd be happier without the stress that my wife brings. Damn dude. Best case scenario, you do get out, and when you get your daughter, she's away from the mom and can be a better person. Good luck, bro. You're not the only one who is suffering. And my other favorite from another partner, complete silence to an awkward degree, followed by her just changing the subject. I always advocate for opening up to a partner who at least looks like they care. But damn if those comments you speak of don't have a point. I'm going to try again if I find someone I feel like and trust. But and I'm 022 for anything in the form of support or understanding. She treated like a competition. If you aren't the one suffering the most in the world, then STFU. It just ended up being ammunition to win arguments. I can't upvote this one enough. Literally anything that's in your hurt locker is a bullet for her anger guns. I was a firefighter in the military and we responded to a call where the patient killed himself in front of us with a shotgun. I was covered with blood and bone. Yes, I was very traumatized by it and I was silent for a week. I was in a huge depression because of it, and when my girlfriend asked me what was happening and why I was acting like this, I told her, and halfway through she, paraphrasing, told me to shut up. At that point I never opened up to her again, and the relationship ended after 5 years together because of her cheating. I got into another relationship 2 years after that was majorly abusive to me. She would hit me, gaslight me, etc. after I opened up to her about my feelings. So I left her, thank God. I'm doing way better now. I'm a paramedic working for an amazing service. The relationship ended at the end of my paramedic schooling in 2019, but I'm doing my own thing such as Muay Thai kickboxing, motorcycle riding, gym, painting Warhammer and nerding out. I'm done with dating and just want to enjoy my life. You're so strong for telling me. You're so weak, I can't stand you. Bye bye. And the next one wonders why we don't communicate more. She called me a faggot. I'm not joking. Homophobia from the women in your life is chef's kiss. Being accused of being gay for wanting to sleep instead of having mediocre sex because you have to work in 5 hours while she gets to sleep all day and watch Netflix that you pay for. Just dude things. Bruh, my GF tells me I sleep too much. I go to bed after her and wake up before her every day, but then F me if I take a nap longer than an hour on the weekend. A long time ago, I got out of a 3-5 year relationship that left me broken, miserable, and wondering how I could go on. My girlfriend had cheated on me and left me for someone else, and as much as I would have loved to move on, she and I had a child together that I was determined to be a father for. I was living with my parents. I was struggling to make my business work, and I felt lost. My wife and I started dating at that point in my life, and I was too busy and stressed to try and hide anything. She was 100% aware of everything going on with me, how I felt, and how it affected me. She still fell in love with me. She still enjoyed being with me. We slowly started to build a life together. We started a family. My son was an active part in our lives. To this day, we are very happy together, and I don't hide anything from her, because out of everyone in the world, she understands me and can help me get through the hardest parts of my life. She even helped me write and edit my book. I was 18 to 19 at the time with my then girlfriend. We had already been together for about 2 years, and were together for 6 years in total. My mother had just died 3 months before I graduated high school. It was sudden. I had no time to grieve. I hadn't even really processed it. It was a rough time for me, and my girlfriend had recently moved to Denver to live with her mom. She came down to visit during the summer, and we spent as much time as we could together. Her family didn't like me because they were ultra-religious conservatives, and I was teaching her how to question things and live her life without them controlling her. We were lying on her family's trampoline and just talking. The topic of my mom came up and something inside of me snapped, and I let it all out. I let her know how much I was hurting, how alone I felt, how worthless and powerless I felt, how everything was just crashing down on me and I couldn't handle it. Tears were streaming down my face and I was shaking. She held me and did her best to comfort me. I thought this experience made our relationship stronger. During our last year together, she told me that she lost respect for me the day she saw me cry about my mom. She said that men should always be strong, and I looked like a frail child to her, and she started questioning our relationship after that, which led to our eventual breakup. But her saying that to me hurt the most. It revealed to me how she really felt about our roles, and that she did not think I was good enough as a man to deserve her as a romantic partner. Do not take this as me saying that she ruined our relationship. Our relationship had many problems over the years, mostly due to my immaturity. I made plenty of wrong decisions to warrant the end of our relationship too. I haven't been with anyone since our breakup, 10 years, because I'm too afraid to get close to someone and then have them berate me for being too sensitive. Many other reasons too. She used it against me later on. How so? What did you say? And how did she use it? Loss of my grandma was bad for me. was only time I cried after I lost someone, and she kept digging about it. So I told her about it. And after every time we had arguments she started mentioning her and saying that she would never be proud of me. So yeah, never again showing anyone any vulnerable stuff. That's fucked up. I'm hoping she's an ex now. Expressed my disappointment in my body image and my overall confidence level to my 4-year partner, as I'm a pretty small guy by most standards, 5 feet 6 inches 120 pounds, and I had quite a few bad experiences relating to those issues leading up to our conversation. I didn't feel like I could talk to my guys about it and receive support without being told that I just need to eat more and hit the gym, as that has been said a million times at this point. Crons prevents a lot of my weight gain and makes it hard to keep anything on. Not even a month after I had expressed this, I found out that she had been cheating on me with someone I had directly explained my concern about to her. A dude who made me feel pretty insecure to begin with, and has essentially crushed the last semblance of self-esteem I thought I had left. It felt so deeply personal, after sharing my deepest concerns with it, that it couldn't possibly have been done on accident. This was about 3 weeks ago when it occurred, and I don't know what to do about it. Probably the wrong place to ask. Great question. She immediately used them against me after asking me to open up and talk to her. Same experience. Pushed me to be communicative because it was the healthy thing to do, and then referred to the content as me having given her a lecture a few days later. So now I just say everything is fine. I'm tired. Good night. These comments just highlight how extremely important it is to be with a woman who is emotionally mature. That's #1 in my list of qualities. You hear endless talk about finding emotionally mature men, but never anything about women. It's insane how common it is for women to use men's emotions against them, because it's assumed women are angels, or at minimum, emotionally superior to men. I freely admit I live with a mental illness that requires medication. I've also had back and neck surgery within the previous 2 years. I've been hospitalized because of my illness. I've screamed in pain at night to my wife to kill me because of the pain in my body. She's never left me or looked at another man. We do allow each other to look at porn as part of our fantasies, but we are not allowed to fulfill our fantasies. We know we are there for each other. We cry in front of each other. We support each other. And we never lie to each other. Been married almost 8 years. In a relationship about 10. I had a dog for 15 years. We were dating. She drove 2 hours round trip to be with me to comfort me the night I put her down. I will move entire galaxies for her. She cheated on me when I tried to open up about not feeling wanted by her recently. She then tried to sue me for my dog's ashes after we broke up. Needless to say, every one of our mutual friends laid into her on everything, and she shut everyone out except the friend who she cheated with and the couple of other friends who knew and didn't tell me. Bro, she doesn't deserve you. It has always resulted one way or another in a loss of attraction and respect. Everything from looks of disgust and laughing to slowly but surely pulling away. Whether it's job stress or a relationship difficulty that they wanted to talk about. You just can't win. One time, my dog drowned in the pool, and even that news was interpreted negatively. It's really just easier and more self-protective to just stay quiet and be strong for the sake of your own sanity and the relationship. Go cry to your friends, and they will laugh or say, "That sucks, man. Sorry to hear that," and then life will go on. Once heard a woman describe her boyfriend as having had an ugly cry, which kind of sums it all up for me. At 19. She cheated a month later, and we broke up. 4-year relationship. At 24. She started cheating on me shortly afterwards. I found out a couple months later. We broke up. 4-year relationship. At 41. She said, "Who knew you'd get emotional in your 40s?" with undisguised disgust. The relationship went downhill from there. 18-year relationship. Those are the only 3 times I've been open with a woman. Learned my damn lesson. I was also cheated on after being emotionally vulnerable with an ex. That was a fun time. I felt dismissed and unheard, patronized, borderline made fun of. Every time wasn't great. She left me. I'm sorry to hear that. Can I ask what you shared with her that made her leave? She later on nagged me about it, and in future arguments she used stuff like that against me to get me emotionally unstable and hurt me to win the arguments, especially when she was in the wrong. Worst waste of 5.5 years. The only things I took from that relationship are trust issues towards women, and bias and presumption for the worst from women, and a keener vision for behavior in a relationship, which is counterproductive for the relationship. Short answer, opened up twice, so rejected me both times. You could literally hear their heart shut down with a loud noise. So, never again. Ever. Agreed. I've been vulnerable with my wife on many occasions. When you find someone good, being vulnerable is easy. I hope that's true, but it sounds like a lot of men haven't experienced being with someone good. Then, I'm definitely lucky. My ex left me for a dude who didn't want her, just wanted to bone, and became another one of his baby mamas. My current called me a sensitive little bee in an argument. Currently considering getting a dog and moving to Alaska and leaving everything behind. Man and dog in Alaska sounds like a vibe. Was told that our problems were my problems and to find some else to talk to. Let me know when you figure it out. It sounds like I'm talking to a woman. You're stressing me out. I don't know what you want me to do. I'm tired of listening to you. Those were the few that I remember off the top of my head. Since then I stopped talking due to her eventually making everything about herself. In my experience, women make no effort at all to learn how to communicate and listen to men when it comes to feelings. It's up to the man to figure everything out, and most of the time it's more trouble than it's worth. I'm really sorry that this is your experience. No one deserves that. Is it one woman who told you these things? My girlfriend is very supportive and open with me. Even before we made our relationship official, we were showing emotional vulnerability around each other. When I'm having a bad or stressful day, talking to my GF makes it better. She is really caring and loving with me, whether over the phone or in person, and without judgment. And I feel completely safe talking about anything with her. Her kisses and cuddles feel warm and safe in these instances. I have been in several relationships, and I have rarely felt so comfortable being this open and vulnerable with someone. Looking at many of the other comments here, I also feel pretty lucky to have a partner like this. Yeah, I also feel pretty lucky in my relationship. But I just didn't realize that what you describe isn't a given in a relationship. I really hope that this can change. No one should be in a relationship where their feelings and vulnerability aren't welcome.